Hi everyone, Karina Schuster here, and thank you so much for joining me on another episode on Sci-Tech Swiss Suite podcast. Today I'm at the Point Zero Forum in Zurich, and I will be focusing on interviewing tech experts on quantum computing, climate change, artificial intelligence innovations, and also on blockchain technology. But what we will focus mostly on today is understanding how we can educate people on using these kind of technologies and how we can translate these complexities. And today I'll have the opportunity to speak with experts. I'll be able to reply to some of your most important questions. So please stay tuned for more and follow Sci-Tech Swiss. Tell me a little bit more about Kai Ventures. What are your, main key points about Kai Ventures, and what are you expecting to see on the second day?
Kai Ventures is a company based in Basel in Switzerland. Kai Ventures stands for Quantum and AI, and we do investments into startups that develop quantum technology, and we also run an accelerator to accelerate the business of the companies that we invested into. Day 2 for me of the Point Zero Forum is a highlight because quantum technology is getting a stage. I think this is very nice to see, as quantum technology has not had so much attention in the finance industry, and I have the feeling that it changes from today on.
All right, and what are some advancements in quantum computing that you foresee here in Switzerland and internationally?
So when we talk about advancements in quantum computing, we have to be very cautious. I mean, it is a technology that is still developing. There still has to be made a lot of advancements and developments. It's not a technology that you can that is ready to use. But what I see is that the industry is getting aware of what quantum computing can do in the near or a little bit far away future. I think what we hear here today is that the industry, the financial industry, but also other industries that are influenced by quantum technology, that they have to get ready now, that they have to get prepared in a way that they have to evaluate their risk and also their opportunities.
Yeah, that's a great answer. And also another question that's also like a curiosity for me when it comes to investing in startups. So are you looking more at the financial plan, at the financial side? So what are some highlights, some really important key points that you're really observing when it comes to investing into a startup? Because also enabling technology, but at the same time, we also have to look at the financial point, right?
Sure. When it comes to investing into quantum startups, we look at the business model behind, at the team, like every other investors do, with every other technology. But what we also look into the quantum space is what is the science behind? Who could make use of this technology? How long will it take to develop this technology, and so on and so on. So it's much more complex, I would say, than investing in a normal technology company.
Yeah, that's a great point. And also a final question will be, how can we make more technology our friend and apply it to our everyday lifestyle and to make it more friendly? Because we know that technology is, as you said in your own words, is a very complex topic, right?
That's a very good question. In general, I think we need a lot of more education on the new technologies. We need to educate society. I think there is a lot of fear or mistrust in the society. I think this is an important point. When I go back to quantum technology, I think quantum technology will not primarily focus you and me, our daily lives, but more, first of all, the government or the public organizations and all the big corporates before we realize it in our daily lives.
So, Alessandro, it's so nice to see you today at the Point Zero Forum in Zurich. What are your thoughts on the second day?
A lot of discussion, big vibes, and wonderful opportunity for networking.
That's so nice to hear. So one of my main questions will be, what are the benefits of using AI and quantum computing in the financial industry?
So AI and quantum computing are the two biggest transformational technology in IT of these days, okay? So they are really changing the way IT is going to be used and impact. If you look at the financial industry is based on data. Both AI and the new AI is going to allow to make sense of this data faster, is allow to help the financial industry to tackle security problems, for example, fraud detections. And quantum, and with the synergies that quantum is going to have with AI, is going to allow to, for example, optimize portfolios of investment in a much better way. And you know, what we are seeing today is only the beginning of this big revolution.
I love that. That's definitely how I'll describe that as well. And can you tell us a little bit more on the research behind Quantum Safe project? That's very interesting.
So I told you that quantum is a transformational technology, is a really different way to do computing, and these are allowing us to do things that we could not do before. One of these things is to break the cryptographic methods that are used today to make our IT systems, the internet, the financial system safe and secure, okay? So when we are going to have a quantum computer big enough to break this cryptography, it's very, very, very important that we substitute the old today cryptographic algorithms with new algorithms that cannot be attacked by quantum computing. And so since many years, we in IBM and the world, the research world, has been really trying to investigate new crypto schemes that cannot be attacked by the quantum computers. And these schemes became a reality, and these days are going to be standardized, and in the near future are going to be integrated in our IT system, in the internet, to make sure that the future of IT is going to be safe and cannot be attacked by quantum computers.
I definitely agree with that. And also because you mentioned on the World Economic Forum about making the word quantum ready. What are some challenges about that, and what are some strategies that we can actually apply here?
So becoming quantum ready means two things. One means to make sure that we secure the IT system against the attacks, okay? And in order to do this, what everybody has to start to do is to analyze its own infrastructure, analyze its own application, understand where cryptography is used, okay? And eventually create strategy to migrate to a quantum safe crypto schemes. That is one thing. The other thing is take advantage of the power that quantum computers are going to bring, okay? In order to do this, what is needed is to start to do research on applications, how to bring quantum computers and digital computers together to bring an advantage in the way we are doing computing. So one is getting safe for possible attack, the other taking advantage of this new transformational technology. And we need to do both at the same time with urgency.
I love that. I definitely agree with that. And when it comes to the educational system, because I think that everything starts from education, that's also one of the most important points that I was discussing at Davos this year. How can we innovate the educational system in your own words?
So, you know, quantum computing, being a completely different computing technology, need to be learned and need to be integrated in the way we explain, develop, and use computing. So we should start, to teach these new computing paradigms as, simply a new way to do computing. And we have to start early, okay? And the full field of computer science needs to evolve in order that the computer science of tomorrow is going to be a computer science that brings digital computing and quantum computing together to tackle the challenges that we do have.
I love that, definitely. And maybe a last question will be related to how is IBM innovating the environment, the tech environment?
So look, As I was saying at the beginning, the two major revolutions that are happening these days are AI, the new AI, the generative AI based on foundation models, and we are investing a lot to make sure that this revolution can make a difference to all businesses and can make a difference in a responsible way. Okay. The other things, as I told you, is quantum computing, and with quantum computing, we are investing since year to try to industrialize quantum computers, so that in a few years we will have quantum computers that can really bring an advantage and make a difference for business and for the society. And to do this, of course, we need to innovate in the hardware, in the middleware level, and the application level. And we are doing all these things together.
Hi, Delphine. How are you today?
Hi, Karina. I'm very good. I'm at Point Zero doing networking, meeting new people. I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah, likewise. I'm really happy to be here with you and also to discuss more about crypto. So, one of my questions will be, what are some important takeaways from the Point Zero event today?
So far, I've been doing a lot of networking. I haven't had a lot of time to attend session, but I did a really good session this afternoon. It was a roundtable on payment and all blockchain technology is changing the payment world. So it was really cool because you had a team from the old banking side and like payment side with like Visa, MasterCard, and then you had another team representing the blockchain side with like Ava Labs and all those kind of players that were discussing like which one is going to win. Like, is it like the old world or is it the new world? But at the end of the day, it's like the reply is like we need to work together because what is important is to focus on the customer needs. What does the customer need and how we can improve the payment system work to provide a reply to the customer needs, right?
Yeah, that's a really good answer. I totally agree with that. And when it comes to the crypto industry, tell us more about your start.
Yeah, of course. The first time I heard about blockchain and Bitcoin especially was in 2011 in Tokyo. So I was working in Tokyo and there was like events around Bitcoin. It was meetups on Bitcoin. I went to one, I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. Maybe I want to invest. So what did I do? I looked up how to invest money and buy Bitcoin. But then, I have a legal background and I was like, oh my God, I'm too scared to put my money in there. It looks like a sky. I'm not touching it, right? So times passed and I was working in HSBC. It was in 2017. And they were experimenting on how to use blockchain technology to streamline the process in trade finance. And I was involved in this process and I started reading a book from Paul Vignan and Michael Casey called The Future of Money. That was in summer 2017. And it was about the blockchain and how blockchain is going to change the world we're living in. And I was reading the book and I was starting downloading different type of application, wallets, and connecting with exchanges. And I started to buy crypto at this point of time by reading this book because I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. Like working for a bank is like you are in the old world. And I was thinking, there is no way I am missing on the new world. I want to be part of it. I don't want to be no compliance officer in a bank. I want to embrace technology and see how I can make an impact in this world. So I quit my job in HSBC and in January 2018, I moved to Switzerland to work for a crypto exchange as the global head of compliance. And this is how I really fall in love with technology because I had a lot of responsibility. I set up the whole compliance program, but I was also responsible for listing. So in 2018, it was ICO boom. So we received a lot of demand from the different crypto projects, and I had to read all the white paper. And it was amazing because it's such a strong learning curve. Because if you want to be a good compliance officer, you need to understand the tech, you need to play with it, and you need to see how it works. And that was fantastic. I loved it. I became a board member of the Crypto Valley Association. We set up our own association for travel compliance. I worked for crypto miner, crypto exchanges, and there was so many events happening. It was amazing. And I I'm really passionate about it, as you can tell, I guess.
I love that. And when it comes to a couple of trends and upcoming innovations, what are your thoughts about that?
So I think there's different things I can talk about here. Like I always said, but I'm going to repeat myself, that the next thing that is people need to watch is what's happening in Bitcoin right now. I call it the DeFi Bitcoin summer, because as you know, on Ethereum blockchain and Bitcoin blockchain doesn't work the same way, right? On Ethereum blockchain, you have smart contract that you don't have you didn't have until now on Bitcoin. I know like a lot of projects are trying to build up smart contract on Bitcoin blockchain and developing layer 2 and layer 3 on Bitcoin blockchain. And I think this is going to be a big change. It started with ordinals, that was last year, which are inscription on the Bitcoin blockchain, a little bit like NFTs that you may have on Ethereum. So I think this trend is something that you really need to watch out. Second trend, obviously, regulation are here now, right? And it's not like a lot of people, I think, in the industry are looking at regulation as a bad thing, but I think it's a really good thing, because you can also see there's two things you need to look at. Like first, regulation is good for the industry, because if we want to get to mass adoption, well, we need big players. We need people to adopt the technology, right? And for that, you need to build more trust and provide a safe environment, right? That's one thing. And the second thing, which is a little bit more cheeky, is regulation means that people might need to be a little bit more creative when they build a decentralized finance project, because the way regulators are looking at it, on decentralized finance, regulation are not there yet. Completely, it depends on you define it. So I think project builder can still, try to build a project that can kind of have to comply with less regulations than bigger things. So that's something that I think needs to be followed. And third trend, education, and we also mentioned use cases, right? And to provide education and blockchain, I think it's important to provide people with real application. People need to be able to use application based on the blockchain. They don't need to know it's based on the blockchain, but they need to be able to interact with it and play with it in order to completely adopt it. Like an example of that, I think where there was the NFT boom, it was amazing because it attracts so many more normal people that were not in tech but were interested in art and see how it works, and they start to play with the technology. So yeah, I think we need this. There is a big need here, right?
Oh my God, that's very interesting. And I totally agree with you that definitely one thing that I also discussed before is definitely empowering more the education side, because people need to be, they shouldn't be afraid of technology, but they should make technology their friend, right? How can we make technology our friend, in your words?
Well, I think in the industry, we have still a lot of progress to make. It's been 7 years I'm working in the industry, and I feel I always talk about the same topic. The fact that, project builder and tech builder, they have amazing tech, and they're okay, look guys, that's the tech, but you're okay, but you need to think about the user first, what people need, and build an application for people. So we have a lot of work to make UI better, right, for application. But also, again, if we talk about education, I think we need to also organize events where we don't talk about theoretical things. Maybe we need to organize events where you and I are going to exchange crypto. I'm going to make a crypto payment to you, and people can see exactly what is happening, right? And I think this is what we need also for people to really be more on talking, making it easy to understand, right? And building clear applications that solve use cases. I don't know, for instance, I know that the UNHCR has been using blockchain technology to provide support to refugees, and especially on the payment side. And this is completely forgotten, right? What are the media talking about? Crypto and illicit activities, scams. And I think as an industry, we need to reverse this narrative, and we have not been good enough to reverse the narrative to show to people crypto is not scam. So you have crypto and you have blockchain, the technology, which is different from the assets. Goes together on many different forms, but it's important that people see the benefits that blockchain is. You and I can interact directly. We don't need anything in the middle, right? This is amazing. And yeah, I think that's the most important part.
Because we are here at the second day at the Point Zero Forum in Zurich. What are your takeaways from the event?
First of all, it's a special event for us because it's really bringing together institutions, particularly from Singapore and Switzerland, or is co-organized, and we have been set up across these two markets from the first day, right, in a dual headquarter manner. So for us, it's always a no-brainer to come here to support the event and to meet like-minded people. And also, what I like is a very good curation of policymakers, regulators, coming together with practitioners, be it from traditional finance, but also innovative fintechs. And so for us, it's the perfect combination of people, of meeting clients, prospects, potential partners, existing partners, and regulators. So I give my full thumbs up. I like the event a lot.
I love that. So in terms of trends and predictions, when it comes to the blockchain sector, what can you foresee? What is your forecast for us?
Well, first, I think we have crossed the bridge in a way that it's now really unstoppable. I cannot give you a time frame, but I just feel increasingly that more and more also traditional financial institutions are either navigating towards creating products, partnering up with players such as ourselves. We have in Switzerland alone more than 20 banks that have integrated with our technology stack, or are debating themselves to build up the technology stack, the infrastructure to be able to custodize, to trade digital assets. And so I think we are at a very exciting inflection point because it comes together with positive regulatory and developments in some areas and countries, including the US, where we see a little bit of a shift from rather hostile to a bit more open and positive. So I think we are seeing evolutionary steps, which at some point, if everything comes together, could feel quite disruptive. So yeah, it's interesting times.
Right. Yeah, I totally agree with that. But what are still a couple of challenges that we still need to work on when it comes to the digitalization process, when it comes also to the financial institutions and the digitalization process, but also when it comes to traditional banking sector?
Well, I think one is a challenge which is not linked to any specific technology, but rather how can large, particularly traditional institutions, bring about change and openness, and also the risk that it takes to explore and do new things. It's ultimately a change management and culture management. So because ultimately it's people that start or stop doing certain things, or start their organizations to start or stop doing things. So I think that's a one key challenge. The second is, given it's particularly in DLT, it's a global technology, it's interconnected, so there's still quite a lack of cohesion across the globe when it comes to legal and regulatory frameworks. So in order for the breathing bed to really be unleashed for this for innovative products, there needs to be more cohesion and alignment across the world, which is a very tough thing to do. And then there's also still technological topics to be solved, be it user experience, ease of use for the end customers, as we are still a bit too much in our bubble and think it's easy, but it's actually still quite complex. This would be some of the things that come to mind.
Right, and another interesting question will be related to digital assets and to also how we can ensure that our users are protected against cyber attacks. That's also one of the key challenges maybe lately.
Yeah, obviously cybersecurity is I think important for the world in all industries and all asset classes. Also, of course, when it comes to blockchain transactions, because if you have access to someone's private key, you can do with the assets whatever you want. You can send them away. So cybersecurity is crucial. It's a cultural thing. It's like setting up the infrastructure, the architecture, but also the ability to talk openly about challenges, issues, also incidents in an organization and across organizations to learn. And at Sygnum, I would say it's obviously one of the top priorities, where it's also a sector or a segment where you never go cheap. You rather want to have the best infrastructure in place. Right?
Yeah, that's a good one. And what role do emerging technologies like AI and machine learning play in enhancing customer experience and operational efficiency at Sygnum Bank?
Yeah, it does feel like there's a few very fundamental technologies coming together, DLT with AI, but also in the banking sector, moving things on-chain and on the cloud, right? Or into the cloud rather, and kind of managing all these things, also machine learning I could add, all these things coming together and finding the right approach towards leveraging it for a better user experience, I think is quite challenging and is also very important. When it comes to AI, probably the one which currently is posited as the most disruptive of the technologies I've mentioned. There it's just about, exposing ourselves to it. Right now we do it more internally, not customer facing, because as a bank, whenever you share data between the trusted cybersecure infrastructure with externals, then it gets very tricky also from a compliance and regulatory standpoint. So we are leveraging tools to organize data and information internally to become more productive and effective in terms of producing products, but also interacting with our clients. But we are in the early stages because we rather don't want to get that one wrong.
Hi, Luba. How are you today?
It's an amazing day. Thank you so much. It's really very inspiring to listen to all the other co-founders, and I think it's a great event which we're having.
Amazing. So tell us a little bit more about Mushroom and how did you come with this amazing idea?
Tony and I started brainstorming in 2019 when we were back then in banking, both of us full-time. Tony and I are friends since more than 17 years. We used to work together at Credit Suisse and we kept our friendship all along the way. And, we always knew what are the pain points in banking. And as I mentioned, banks are typically focusing on the wealthiest clients. Most of us, like you and I, would probably not get any financial advice at all. And we don't learn how to invest, right? It's not part of our educational system. So basically, people are left alone on their own devices to figure out how to invest. And where do you start if you don't know what is a stock, what is a fund, what is an ETF? And even if you know, which is our case with Tanya, we're experienced, there is so much information out there. It's literally a jungle of financial information. How do you filter what's important and what not? So this was the trigger point. We were really driven from a very humanitarian idea, actually. We wanted to change the fact that a lot of people live with not enough financial resources, a lot even in poverty. And poverty you even have in Switzerland, right? We don't even have to go that far to Africa or to Asia or to the poorer part of Europe. And it's a shame in the current times where there's so much technology and there's so much easy access to know-how and to knowledge. So that is what we want to change. That's how we started to build a platform.
What do you think that it's still something that it's challenging today? What is something that we could still innovate when it comes to implementing these technologies and, in the financial background?
I think it's an excellent question, and thank you for that. I think education should be taught at schools as early as 14, 15, 16. It should be one of the regular subjects, the way we learn mathematics, physics. We need to know also the ABC of finance, the same way as we know how to write in English, German, or whatever native language we have. And technology allows it. After Corona, most of the schools had to transfer into the digital education. It's super easy, particularly, for example, with Mushroom, it's a digital platform. You can start simulating paper portfolios and you can start practicing the investment skills in a safe, close to the markets, and yet really safe environment. And there are so many tools and devices out there how you can really teach young people to start taking care of their finances early on. It's important because our society most probably is going to live to 100. The Generation Z, even longer. And the current pension fund system is not set up to provide financing for all of us who are going to be in this age. It's a beautiful news to know that we are going to live until 100, but it's a huge challenge for the financial system. And there it comes to the self-responsibility of each and every one of us. But we believe that school system needs to prepare, respectively, the individuals also to cope with that challenge. And we from Mushroom are strong believers in cooperation. We cooperate with various schools, gymnasiums here in Switzerland, also with the universities. We provide a platform gratis as a tool to them, free of charge, so that young people can start and practice these investment skills and get certain, as you drive a bicycle, you first try to drive with supporting wheels and then you get them off and then you can really start driving. That's exactly how we also teach finance. You start first in a safe environment and piece by piece, you start learning how to invest. a very big danger is a lot of the young people, and I know that from my 16 years old son, the first contact was with cryptos. But that is not investing, this is trading. And it's great that they know the trading and the difference between how to trade and to make some experience, but they need to know how to invest, how to build long-term wealth. Both are okay. They just follow different principles, different laws, and that's what needs to be taught in schools.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And because your touch point was actually on crypto, what are certain predictions that we'll probably foresee in the blockchain area and when it comes to disruptive technologies like artificial intelligence, Web3, blockchain system?
I believe that's going completely to revolutionize the way we really deal with information, the way we interact with apply new skills, adapt new skills. You know, with artificial intelligence, it's very quickly to find the information about a stock, an ETF, or a crypto in a literally with pressing the button. We use it also at Mushroom to provide easy and quickly financial information. The times, and this is the beauty, by the way, the times where you used to spend a lot of time to dig out the relevant information, they're gone. Now it's literally, you can ask and you get it delivered. And you can use this time to, to improve your brain's power, to improve your investment skills, to produce really the desired income. You can sharpen your skills as opposed to use the time, with this manual type of processing information. This is one. I believe blockchain, that's going to be more and more used in finance because that allows you to cut also the value chain, to make it even more quick, seamless communicating from A to B without having tons of intermediaries in between, which makes the process of producing investment advice much cheaper. It makes buying a product much cheaper. When I started trading in 2000, by the way, so 25 years ago, it was, only to open an account and to trade, we needed to group 5 students because the costs are very high. Now, these days, it's so easy. Thanks to modern technology, I have 0 depot fees, I have 0 transaction costs. With blockchains, that's going to be instantaneous and even easier and easier to be accessed. So technology really kind of removes all the obstacles which are on our way to building wealth. Yeah, we are very much welcoming these developments.
I love that. And what are a couple of key takeaways from the Point Zero Forum in Zurich? What kind of talks did you enjoy here? I mean, I know that you also had your panel, a very interesting panel, by the way. But what are also a couple of key takeaways from the event?
I'm incredibly happy to see how the huge importance which is given to entrepreneurs, because that's true. That's where, and this sharing and caring and learning community, this is amazing that we can learn and share knowledge and insights from each other. I love to listen to all of the talks. One thing which I'm very passionate about is AI, and I'm happy to see that it was a very big, obviously, topic. Of course, it's an evergreen and it's in everyone's mouth, but I think it's really the future, and it's going to be changing a lot of what we're going to see down the road, and of course the blockchain technology, as I mentioned. Those are the 3 key takeouts. AI, blockchain technology, entrepreneurship, I think that's pretty much the future. And it shows that everyone can become an entrepreneur and is an entrepreneur. Everyone is also a programmer thanks to AI, right? It's so easy to write codes. And this is the beauty of modern technology. You have the absolute freedom to determine who you want to be with the resources which you have at your disposal, multiply, learn, and connect.